John 4, 17 to 24. I'll read it for you. The woman answered him, I have no husband. Jesus said to her, you're right in saying, I have no husband, for you have had five husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband. What you have said is true. The woman said to him, Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you say that in Jerusalem is the place where people ought to worship. Jesus said to her, Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, but salvation is from the Jews. But the hour is coming and is now here. When the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for the Father is seeking such people to worship Him. God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. You know, most of you, we were in the last Friday at Rachel's house meeting, at the kinds of a big meeting to talk about church's future and transition. And you know what we talked about mainly was worship place change, worship time change. That was a big talk. And while we talking about one thing, I was reminded, worship is the center of a Christian life. Not a pastor, not even praise, not a small group. We are worship community. We gather actually the most important element, component of a Christian worship, Christian life is worship. So it's a big thing, the worship transition. For 13 years, we have had a worship at the same time and same place. Now we are facing some transition, and its worship change is big. It might be life will change. Maybe like you are moving from here to Korea or like here to the maybe East Coast. That kind of a change. So during this transition, I want to meditate with you about the meaning of worship one more time. And among all the passages in the Bible, I think the most famous and then the renowned word about the worship is today's passage. John chapter 4:24. God is a spirit, so His worshiper must worship in spirit and truth. You heard about them many times, right? So let's talk about this passage a little longer. You know between whom that they talk about this conversation. Jesus and the woman in Samaria. So Jesus traveled to Samaria, and there was a woman in the town of Sychar. And the story, as you know, woman came on the well at what time? Noon, 12 o'clock, right? We all know this story, right? This woman had some trouble in her life, and she didn't want to meet anybody. So while most of the women come early in the morning to the well to get water like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. before the sunrise, she came out noon, the hottest time of the day, so nobody come out. So that day, she came to get water. And Jesus was there, and they met each other, right? And then you know the conversation. Jesus asked her water, and she asked why you need the water, and then they go back and forth, and at last, just wanted to go deeper. So he asked her the critical question to her, bring your husband. That can be a question to you in different way. What is the most shameful or most sensitive part of your life that you don't want God touch? You want to hide. That's the thing that she wants to hide from people, the number of husband, right? But if God come to you, God will not just say, good word, hi, how are you doing? Your life is good. No, God will go directly to you, that part. Where is your money? Where is your heart? Where is your neighbor? Or whatever it is, God will point it directly, the most secret part, the private part that we want to hide. So that's what Jesus did. Bring your husband. So she answered, I have no husband, and she cannot run away from him. He said, you're right. You have no husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband. What you have said is true. So her secret now is revealed. Whatever secret you have in your life, when you meet God, that will be revealed. And sometimes the secret that you don't want to even share with your own self, God will bring it up. because without touching that part, you cannot go through true healing. So for her case, the many husband, whatever reason, it was the most sensitive part that she doesn't want to share anybody, but she just brought it up. And because she just brought it up, her response was, "Sir, you are a prophet, right? I mean, what do you mean prophet? You are God. Prophet means God's messenger. So she met prophet. She recognized Jesus as a prophet. She met prophet, God's messenger, which means she just met God. Let me ask you this. If God sent a prophet, God sent God's messenger to you, and if that person appeared to you, what would be your first question? Can I go heaven? Is that your question when you meet God's messenger? What are the things that you wanted to ask to God through God's messenger? Or what do you wanted to hear from God? If God appeared to you today, before you die, what do you wanted to hear? If God tell you, you have done a good job. You did a good job. I'm very delighted in your life. Man, that will make our life, right? And maybe, I know you work so hard. You struggle so much. Then I'm your side. If God tells us something like this, we'll be very happy, right? But again, what are you going to ask to God when God showed up? What she asked? You are a prophet. And actually what she wanted to ask was, is my life okay before you? Because everybody telling me I'm wrong. Everybody telling me I'm a wrong woman. Is my life okay? Isn't that the question always we wanted to ask? If God come to us, God, am I righteous before you? People say I'm not that good. But at least before you, to you, I won't be the right people. I want you to say, I have lived my life with all my best correctly. I want to hear from you. That's our question. Is my life okay? And how did it come out differently? Is my worship okay? That's our question. Look at the transition of a question. Sir, you're a prophet. They were talking about water. They're talking about, the husband. But now, all of a sudden, when she said, Sir, I perceive you are a prophet, our father worship on this mountain. They all of a sudden, she brought up worship. Because again, the most important thing for Christian life, the standard, the quality of our life, actually is worship quality. I mean, when people look at you, right? What kinds of person you are, how successful you are, they will check up your job, your saving, your house, and your fame, and your position. That's how people look at you. And then as a quality of your life. But Christian different. Quality of your life is the quality of your worship. That's the reason she's asking, is my life okay? And is my worship okay? People always say I'm the wrong woman. People always say I'm the worshiping God wrong way. But is my worship okay? Am I worship correctly to you? That's our question. And that should be our question too. When God comes to us, we should ask God, have I lived okay? Then the same question, God, is my worship okay to you? How about you? Are you nervous that when I say that the color of your worship is the color of your life? Do you think your color is good? So she asked, is my father's worshipped on this mountain? We have worshipped on this mountain, but Jews, they keep saying the place is worship is Jerusalem. They keep saying I'm wrong. They keep saying I'm living wrong life and meeting the wrong man. And I'm giving worship God wrong way. Is that right? That's her question. So Jesus answered her, the hour is coming. Isn't this strange? She asked what? Place. Where should I worship? Jesus didn't say either Jerusalem or mountain. Now he talked about time. The hour is coming and is now here. And this famous thing now coming that true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. The Father is seeking such a people to worship him. God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. This is the quality of worship that we all know. We worship God in spirit and truth. But what does that mean? In spirit and truth, right? And she now asking again that, where should I worship? And when she asks where should I worship, it's not just geographical location. It's a ritual. Where should I go? With which priest and which formation worship that is the right worship that I can give you? Should I give animal sacrifice with the Jerusalem priest? Or should I, give offering at Jerusalem temple? Or at this mountain, should I build a shrine? What formation should be my worship? But Jesus is not talking about the formation ritual. He's talking about time. And then he says, the hour is coming, and he's surprised saying, now here. This is 12 o'clock again, noon, the hottest day of the hottest time of the day, and the moment that she come out to hide her shame, and Jesus is inviting this shameful moment is a time of your worship. God is spirit. What does that mean? If God is not spirit, God is not spirit, then what else God can be? Then God can be a statue, mountain, or big object, right? Comparing to physical object, when Jesus said God is spirit, what does it say to us? Spirit, what's the difference between spiritual being and physical being? Physical being can be in only one location. So spiritual being, as you can say, it can be any place. It can go through the wall, it can fly, it can be same time in Africa and Europe. That's a spirit, right? So when it says God is a spirit, that means places not matter. Wherever it is, God can be with you. So important thing is, do you feel God who's with you wherever you are now? So because the spirit, God, spiritual being God is with you now, are you worshiping God right now? That is Jesus' question. I mean, that is Jesus' answer. So you come here, worship, Sunday morning worship, but according to Jesus, the hour when you feel, or when should I worship, when is worship time? That time is worship time. Monday, 9 a.m. Wednesday, 4 p.m. Wherever you are, with your job, with your customer, and with your friends, you're eating lunch, you're taking walk, any time is worship time because God is a spirit, spiritual God is with you at that time. Do you feel it? So do you want, is your whole life, every moment, every hour, is worship. Worship is not like a specific time and place in Sunday morning. Your worship should be, your life should be worship. That is the reason. So worship equality is our life equality. I remember this thing before about Cuba experience. When I went to Cuba, there was one place of worship that I visited. And, they're surrounded by all the neighbors. And, Cuba, the communist country, but the most common religion is African religion. It's like a shamanism. People just ask a blessing. It's African religion is everywhere. And there was a church that we gathered, and I joined the church. And, when we gathered, when we were singing the praise, people's voice be heard, and whatever got praised, God showed me vision. God showed me vision in just dark, spiritually dark area. When people start praising God, when the word of God was, proclaimed, the light was shining from that place to the whole neighborhood, that dark neighborhood, the light was going through. There was a time that I realized the word of God that Jesus said, you are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. How can you be light? We are not light, but our worship is light. When we give worship to God, that's the place that we become light. So I saw the vision that as the Christian gather in the midst of all this spiritually dark area, the light was shining, the whole area while we are worshiping. And that's the meaning of my worship from that time, that we are here. Do you feel it that maybe this area, Winchester Boulevard or here, maybe they're spiritually dark? While we are here, we are generating, we are creating light, and we are shining it. And if your life is worship, again, Monday 9 a.m., Thursday 4 p.m., wherever you are, if you are with God, and that is a time of your worship, everybody you meet, you will shine the light of Christ because you are worshiping God at that place with other people. Amen? So your life is worship. That quality life, that quality worship make who you are. This is a summer vacation for youth and children. So my son now staying at home whole day. I feel sorry to him because when I was his age in Korea, we always went out playing with the friends at outside neighborhood. But the America is not like that circumstance. Kids can go out to play. He's just staying at home, and his game time is restricted. So every day he says, "I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored." Right? And then I'm just find the productive thing you can do, read a book. And when I say read a book, I'm not going to read a book because you say so. This kind of conversation go back and forth. But one thing kind of bothering me these days, he watching a lot of video, short video clip, TikTok and Instagram, and he bring it to me. Daddy, and then, what's wrong? And then look at this. And to me, stupid video, funny, stupid video. Look at this, how funny it is. Okay, I see. All right. And he called me like 5 times a day. I'm very bothered. Like sometimes he come to me, I'm studying. She just put in the phone. Look at this, look at this. And then the videos, okay, not again. I mean, he bothered me like many times a day because he's at home the whole day. About the 5 times he did that, I said, JJ, stop bothering me, okay? I'm very busy. He never stopped, and he continuously do it. About the 10 times he did that, you know what I thought? He must really love me. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just bored. He just find a person that he want to share his life. But the good thing is, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, he doesn't go to Mom Hannah. He doesn't go to sister. He just always come to me. Daddy, look at this video. Not fun to me, but he also keeps sharing with me. And some moment after he done too many times, I thought, he must love me that keep coming to me. Do you think God feels that way to you? God feels, he must love me. Early in the morning, 6:30 a.m., he come to the morning prayer. And okay, he had a good time with the prayer me. And 10 a.m., he come to me pray again. 12 he pray again. And like 3 p.m., he worship me again. He would take a walk. He keep calling me like in a day, like how many times? I'm really bothered. Do you think God say, I'm so bothered because you keep visiting him, you keep praying to him, you keep calling his name? No, he must fear. This guy love me. Is that your life? You make God fear. God, I love you so much. Every moment in our life, my worship, that the time that I give you. That's the Jesus talking to this woman. Place doesn't matter. It doesn't matter it's a Sunday or like a Wednesday or it's like a church or Calvary or United Methodist, the New Christian, doesn't matter. Where God is, where your heart is, God is there, God is Spirit. Every moment, every place in your life, that's worship time. Make your life a worship, and that is a true worship. By saying this, Jesus gives us freedom. That the place, we don't have to be limited by place of worship. Wherever you are, you can give worship. But at the same time, this message, in other side, it also gives us warning. Because you are in Jerusalem, where the priest is, you are sitting where priest in a preside worship. Because you are worship time, it's not just you giving worship if there's no spirit and truth in you. In other way, we can interpret that way. So this is a moment. You relatively, when I say Monday 4 p.m. and the Friday 2 p.m. also you'll be worship time. Yes, that you try to make every moment of your life is worship time. But is this worship time? Everybody know this is worship time. And are you giving worship to God? Yes, you are here to giving worship to God. But the big question is your heart and truth here? Can you see it? Actually, can you show it to God? God, I'm worshiping you in spirit and truth. Are you convinced? At least can you convince yourself, I'm here to give worship to God in truth and spirit? Is there any evidence? Several years ago, actually the year 2016, every June there's an annual conference. The last week I've been to the annual conference. United Methodist Church in June, there's an annual conference in every June. And 2016, something happened that I got a big award from the conference. I think at that time we had a Latino ministry or work with the African Fellowship. So they recognized me as the pastor who worked for the multicultural context and some kinds of award like a Bishop Talbot award for like multicultural something. Anyway, there was an award that I supposed to receive during the annual conference. And then for my family, because there's a big ceremony, we went up there. So Faith was 14, Josephine 12, and then 2016, right? And there was a big ceremony of 1,000 people, and I was very nervous. And I asked, what should I do during the ceremony? And then the one who organized everything, he said, just come up. Bishop will give it to the trophy to you. You just receive, and you just go back, right? Are you sure that's all? Yeah, that's all. So the big ceremony. I was behind the stage and waiting, the ceremony, and my name's called. So my name's called. Oh, Justin, new creation, and this Bishop Talbot, award. So the the creation ceremony music. I was walking like this, all my suit, and before Bishop, I was receiving the award and lifting in, and then I was about to go in, but now they said you're gonna give a speech. I already asked many times, should I prepare anything? And they said, no, you just come and receive it. That's it. But now they said he's going to give a speech. I'm okay to talking to Tom, okay, talking to Laura Lee in like this context, but I know I have an accent in English. I know my grammar mistake, a lot of things come while doing my speech. Before 1,000 people, without any the preparation, already I check up the mic, ding, ding, hello, hello. The sound was resounding the big. My heart start pounding like this, and no time for preparation. Just give a speech. So 1,000 people looked at me, and then, hello, I'm very honored today. So I start talking, but I have no idea what I was talking. I was sweating, and I don't remember what I said. Good thing was people were laughing. So it looks like my joke worked. I made some joke, and I have some touching story. I think less than 5 minutes, I gave a speech, and people's response was good, but I have no idea. I don't remember what I shared that day. Anyway, the ceremony was over. I came out, and I met family, and then, Faith come to me, and she said, Daddy, good job. And then she just gave me a candy. It was very weird. Do I have a diabetes? Why she give me the candy, right? She just took out give me the candy. After many years of my life, after that moment, after many things going on, though a lot of memories are very vague, I clearly remember that moment she gave me candy. That candy was something to me. What was that candy? It was her heart. Good job. I'm very proud of you. I know you're very nervous, but you did well. I want to say some good word to you. How can I show my heart that how I'm proud of you, how much I love you? Candy. It was a candy, but I felt it was a heart. So during the whole ceremony or whatever, I forgot everything, and then many things going, but I still remember that moment, the very weird candy that she gave me. Good job, Daddy. Your heart can be seen through small behavior, small object. And your heart must be seen through that way. So again, you are here to worship God in spirit and truth. How does your spirit and truth be seen at this time during your worship through what? How did you prepare your worship? What did you bring? Right? I mean, during the week, in your busy of life, did you put this time that when people say, hey, let's do this Sunday morning, let's do that? No, this is a worship time. I'm going to give it to God. My heart and spirit there. I've arranged the whole Sunday morning as a center of my life. I come here. Did you do that? Sunday, like Saturday, did you just try to not to do some stupid thing or game or whatever things? Tomorrow is a holy day. I want to make tomorrow holy. I'll prepare worship. Did you do that? Or today, in the morning, did you wake up early in the morning, ironing your clothes, thinking that I'm going to show myself before God today? Or you drove early in the morning and coming to worship? Or you are like Sunday school teacher or praise team? Or even during the worship, did you decide, I'm going to sit that place because that's the best place that I can praise God? Or during praise, did you really loud, made your body loud, like, I want to show my spirit and truth through my voice, through this praise? Did you do that? I mean, what is your evidence of your spirit and truth this morning? I hope you know that. I hope God can also see that. Maybe your offering, not just like an offering time, okay, how much do I have, and then take out from wallet, but meditating. What God has done for me during the week, with all the feeling of meditation about gratitude. This is what I want to prepare, put in the offering. Offering, the amount doesn't matter, right? But your preparation, it's a sign of your heart. I give thanks to God. I put, my mother always make a new beer for the worship. She thinks that's the way to respect God. To put it in the envelope, God, this is what I brought. Your heart can be seen and must seen, and that's what actually, when God is spirit and truth, what you also need to remember. As you shared last Friday, we'll go through transition next 1 month or 2 months. Our worship time and our worship place will be changed. It will maybe go back and forth. If our worship shaken, our life can be shaken. But I want you to be very sure what makes your true worship. God is a spirit, and His worshipers must worship Him in spirit and truth, whether it's a Calvary or new creation. whether it's a 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12:30, where it is, when that is, will you bring your heart and truth? So always your life will be full of worship that you give God. So your worship quality become your life quality. And maybe God will remember. I remember that day, the day, what he did, what she did for me. That's a candy, right? Very small thing that will be clearly remembered by God as a true heart of us, the sign of our true heart, and that will be our worship. Let's pray.